rapid fire questions. I don't know if you agree with my answers, but I agree with them because I said them.
Welcome back, everyone. We had some awesome debate in the back about pineapple on pizza. You know, I'm allergic to it, so I can't weigh in. Put pineapple on your pizza if you want to. I don't really mind. But enough about pizza, somebody's gun. We've got game number 1 of semifinals here. I am so excited to see what's going to happen and who we're going to hop in with.
Yeah, we're jumping into the action. This is what everyone's been waiting for today, right? You've been sitting around your house. All right, when's Dreamhack gonna start? When's Dreamhack gonna start? Here we go. Game 1 action, Clay. We've got it for you guys. And the first person we're gonna be checking in with is Bully from Vanish.
Oh, and Bully actually got his start at the Dreamhack in February. Back when we did have IRL events, he performed very well, and that kind of catapulted his career forward. But now we're actually going to take a look at one player that has been around the scene for a very, very long time. Roat TW goes all the way back into World Cup days, all the way back. And, you know, I'm excited to see him here.
Yeah, it's been a while. Looks like he's playing with Odinide. Yeah, we haven't really seen Roat all the way up at the leaderboards recently, but that still doesn't mean he doesn't have it. Sometimes when the meta shifts, you get that ability to jump up and really grab your place within a season. These two looking to do it right now, and oh, someone's landing right on him. That's not going to be good for him. FRM goes down, and another elim will come through. Those guys get sent back to the lobby super quickly, Clay.
I mean, that's the best kind of elimination that you want. You don't even have to work that hard. You just hit those elims right off of spawn. Hey, I'll take those elims 10 times out of 10.
100%. That's a nice confident way to start off your game too. You know, the nerves are gonna be on you. You never know how the first game's gonna start, but when you and your duo get the best drops to your drop spot and easily eliminate 2 players, that's gotta feel good. He doesn't even have to waste any shield, so really good for your inventory as well, plus those materials.
It is indeed. We do see Nobu Nick going to be in this game, taking down a player there. Don't know exactly where they're dropping, but we're all the way over to Hunter's Haven. We got a fight breaking out up here, as it does seem to kind of taper off. Cobalt going to be on top there with Colton as Oracle is trying to stay inside this building. These buildings are really awkward to fight in, just because they have so many walls that you can't build on. So many areas like this where you can just get in and hop down. And you hear the charge already ready there for the enemy team. Harpoon going to be in the inventory. I like that they have it out and they're ready to use it, but they lost their point of entry. It's going to go down. Another Harpoon usage. Does that player realize? No, he's going to try to sneak his way in, and a nice tag does come through, but the piece control there for the enemy. Nice tags. They have to get back together. They got to fight together, and if they're not able to do so, they will go down. A nice usage of the Harpoon, but this team below is ready for it. Are they going to get it? I don't think so.
Yeah, this fight's dragging along. They don't want to jump in. They know that the shotgun trades aren't going to be in their favor. The materials are super low, and both teams playing this super patiently. This is how I would be playing the fight. You don't want to get too aggressive, and we talked about the nerves getting to you in game 1. Oracle's still trying to hold that wall. These guys putting pressure on. You got to be running out of mats down below, and now we're switching over to a different perspective as we do see Bully go down to symmetrical there in the feed.
Yeah, unfortunate for Bully. I think Bully also probably dropping over near Steamy Stacks is a nice shot there to finish off that enemy. Dusty did fall, however, as past teammate, unfortunately, you know, they weren't able to offer anything there. As yes, we are at Steamy Stacks, so Bully with Posick here, symmetrical, the only one left up. Posick doesn't have any builds his inventory, so he's going to have to use the stacks to his advantage, but Vert is up here as well, so a 1v2 scenario has to land right on top of Vert. The shot is there, almost accidentally butting out off, and he is going to fall down. Only a little bit of fall damage gets taken, and he does have that HP remaining, but Vert is right behind him, and there is Posick falling symmetrical, and Vert will clean it up really quickly.
Yeah, the NA West boys showing that they could hold their own on some off ping, taken down to top pros from NA East, but now we're going over to Stretch and Commandment. They're in the center of the map on Jetton, and it looks like Jetton has no teammate alive at this point. It's now up to Stretch and Commandment to close this out. It's a 2v1 situation. They're more than prepared for that as they do a perfect pinch, close that player in the box, and that player is quickly eliminated.
Great gameplay for them, and we expect nothing else. As now we're over to Weeping Woods. Honestly, I think a very boring place to land at, but sometimes you have to have a very boring, right? There's not, like, you usually don't see these fights happen. Usually you're uncontested, but because of that, it offers some of the best loot, in my opinion, if you get it uncontested, right? Any POI uncontested is going to be really good, but it has awkward places to build it, and that's why I'm not a fan of the way fights. So maybe boring's not the way, just unconventional rather. There we go. Nice, better wording as Silo in that Christmas spirit, but hasn't gotten this elimination. It seems like they didn't even get the other elimination as well. Tio, I don't know if there was a third party there, or maybe his duo didn't load in or crash, but no elims here for them. And now trying to get this one, and you talk about early game fights running out of mats. This is going to be a fight that will run out of mats for both of the teams. I think Tio did run out, as Silo will get it. Leo himself not even able to help out, so they will pick up one elimination, but he didn't get that second one, so I'm intrigued to see where that one went.
Yeah, you always wonder. And we see Christmas came early for Silo, able to get that gold tactical shotgun. Going to be a great addition to his inventory. And him and his teammate looking pretty healthy. Now they got the rest of this POI to loot up and get themselves in the zone. We do see some players out to the south that could be looking for some action as well, Clay. They're not just waiting for things to come to them. They appear to be looking and moving into Weeping Woods. So Silo and Leo need to look out.
They do, and because of the amount of materials that they have, they're not in a really good spot to fight that. And now over to Avery and Booga, who seemingly have an uncontested Pleasant Park, and we talked about uncontested POIs this season more than any. I think it is so valuable because we don't have the big mythic POIs. It is all just the normal map. There is a mythic spot on the map, but you don't get anything from it, and you still have to eliminate that player, the Mandalorian that is. So if you can get a big POA like this uncontested, you set yourself up for such a beautiful end game. And you can take a look at Booga's inventory right now, looking very good. He does have max shield, could use one more big shield and a couple more chugs, but overall really good. I expect them to do very well. We talked about them heat number 1, right? We expect them to perform very well, and I expect them to qualify today.
Very interesting. I was wondering where these two would wind up landing here in the semis. We know that last season they liked to land at Stark and honestly dominated that POI in NA East. That was their drop spot. Everyone else was just coming in to try and hang out. And now we see they've chosen Pleasant Park is going to be their go-to, at least for now. Getting it uncontested sure will help them continue to land here. I mean, if I get game 1 unconned at Pleasant, one of the biggest POIs, I'm landing there every game possible.
I'd be there with you. I mean, of course, would take all the harpoons, but I'd let you have everything else. I'd let you have everything else. And look, I like that they know exactly how to get this POI efficiently farmed, and we talked about efficiency overall, and that's definitely one of the biggest things in Fortnite is knowing how to manage your time efficiently and keep that up throughout the entire game. If you make one wrong rotate, one wrong step, hey, that's time that you're going to lose going into late games. So this is a duo that I expect to have the best rotations right now in this lobby. Get there, get set up, look for tags. Booga kind of pioneered this on the NA East side. We used to, on this map, he would go sit up somewhere high, have a sniper rifle, and just look for tags very early on. And it's very strong. And if they're able to get those Storm Surge tags, which we'll definitely see today, it'll be very beneficial. And now over to Augusto and Karba, as they're in the Tomato Town orchard place.
Yeah, tomato orchards, or yeah, let's go with tomato orchards. It is a very busy POI, or not even a named POI that is very busy. We see there's 4 teams in this area, and Augusto needs to be careful. They seem to just be banging away on stuff like there's no one nearby. We see Sparebow and Felix. There's also Agers is up to the north. There's another team in that area, and oh, here comes some snipes, some shots coming through. Shepard Tox is getting hit. Now DGen is in on Shepard. He decides to shockwave away, but DGen, Agers are in a good position, able to get one elim. Shepard is all but good in a very weak position. Let's see if Facusto, yes, they are deciding to make moves onto this player.
You see that replay? That's where Vert decided to chase Postic rather all the way down for that elimination. Very great elim, and a very quick one by them. That's one of the deciding factors, is it has to be quick, and they found him out. They know where he is. You can't hide in a brick cone. They can see through that, and Shepard is gonna fall, but there's a team right nearby. They gotta be careful. Of course, it's DGen and Agers. Now, I talked to Impin and Polarize before this, and I said, other than yourself, who would you want to see win? And they said Zuni's an Aspect or DGen and Agers, as they just absolutely wiped that team out, no questions asked. So good to see them up here. 3 eliminations as well. They're setting themselves up for a great game.
And they just sat on tons of loot right there. There was 3 players that got eliminated, all of them looking good on shields, health, and those materials. So they could just sit there. We see that they're already in zone, now can build up with those hard materials, give themselves a good vantage point. And we know there was a couple teams such as Felix and Sparebow on the outside, but no one close enough that would be able to jump on them immediately. And once again, third party that fight. Now we're tuning in to some more players with Moose, and we see Silo and his teammate just kind of lackadaisical here. And if they're not careful, they're going to get sniped. Oh, and Moose is able to hit the shot, and now they're going to push on this.
What a patient player Lola Moose is. They waited so long. I wouldn't have waited. I would have taken the shot earlier, and the finish will come through. The confirmation on that elimination will go over. Silo now trying to hold the edit there, but Flex, you're trying to get in the box. Moose will actually, they're not. They're disengaging. They're fine with that. They wanted Storm Surge tags. They wanted extra loot, and boom, there they go. They're out. They're just as quick in as they are out of these fights. As a snipe almost hits there for Lola Moose yet again, and now they're in an awkward spot, right? They got that elimination, but Cheetah and Magma are going to be able to hold them out. But Flex says, no, we're going to ramp our way in. We are not going to let you hold us out. We are going to spend our mats to get into the zone a little bit further. And now they put the other team in an uncomfortable position as well. But seems like we were just over here, and it was a different team being Booga and Avery. But now it's Stretch and Commandment, one of our favorites coming into today.
Yeah, we see them looking at RNG and Taki. Those two are in a pretty good position. Oh, not anymore. We see another snipe come through. I'm just watching players get sniped left and right. Does get some shots back onto Stretch, but that's not going to be enough. He's shockwaving onto this player. Taki's going to have to give up his teammate if he wants to be able to survive, because we know Stretch and Commandment aren't giving this up. They're going to continue to push here, and the elim is not going to come through right away, but Taki's trying to hold off as best he can. He put himself into kind of a corner. He's getting out, trying to escape, and now Stretch and Commandment are on this elim, and this is all theirs.
Great elimination, but unfortunately not able to track that follow-up one, as now we're moving on to the backside of zone. We've got DGen and Agers. Yet again, it's AC trying to rotate through. Already did some damage, and they know he's a solo player. And once you're recognized as a solo, you can put the damage back, but there's not that clutch. Actually, he is a duo, so I'm not sure where his teammate was, but he was separated, and that was enough for them to go on and go ahead and push that aggression and get that elimination. Because now they have someone harpooning. They got to be careful. It's a whole different duo. It's Tony and Middo as they're rotating in. And, you know, a very great execution for stretching them, but not as great as Coop and Hoofishy, who picked up a victory royale in another lobby. And that's definitely a duo I would be scared to go up against.
Oh, 100%. The controller gods themselves, just so good at solo tournaments, and then playing together, we know that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Now we're checking in on the other edge of zone here. We saw 2 of our EU players. Hem was on the outskirts, I believe, playing with Andilix. I'm not sure I saw that right. As we see Cheetah scooping up an elimination here. These guys were holding out one of the duos we spectated earlier, Moose and teammate now they're putting themselves in a good spot. Again, those extra materials just able to build out and give themselves a nice dominant position over this.
And, you know, this is a duo that we don't know a lot about, not to our knowledge, but that was a really well executed play to grab that and box those materials up as well, because we all know everybody in the lobby is looking for any little loot that they can get. Right? Any opportunity you can be a loot goblin in is a good opportunity. They do have to obviously make sure they don't do it all the time, but sometimes, you know, hey, you got to be a loot goblin. So you had to, it's good they boxed it up, right? And I'm glad they did. And now over to Wrigley and Dictate. This was last time their names were Dictate and Dictate. That was a very fun experience trying to figure out which one was which. But this time they let us know, hey, I'm Wrigley, I'm Dictate. But I like that they're going to surprise this duo. I like that they caught them off guard and double. Elam's come through, the wall was edited, and that's why you got to be careful facing up to other people.
But it's not that easy. D-Gen and Agers are on the other side of this fight. They saw that happen. They're looking, like you said, the loot goblin. Their loot goblin isn't everyone. It's a matter of whether or not you can fight it off. But Wrigley and Dictate are going to just rotate out of there, get themselves into zone, while Agers and D-Gen can go and clean up the leftover loot. In a good position here on edge of zone. They have the shockwaves to be able to rotate into this next zone, because we typically see fourth zone pull towards the middle of center, towards the center of fourth zone, or third zone, apologize. And now we see how the map is playing out while Landjock is getting a shake.
Yeah, I get to see Booga's perspective there as well. Landjock, a very, very veteran player here. Obviously, Punisher playing with him a lot back in World Cup qualifier days. Haven't really seen as much from Landjock as we would have liked to see, but hey, sometimes you need a new season to really get you back into the groove of things. As it seems like this meta right now, a lot of these pro players are actually preferring the charged shotgun over the tactical, and I think just the lack of damage that tactical shotgun does, that's not reliable, as Booga's gonna find a nice shot there as Avery opened up the edits. A heads up play there for them. Will they be able to capitalize on the eliminations? No, Booga actually gonna go down. Avery gonna fall there as well.
And guess who that was? It was Symmetrical and another player, Jackson. It was not just a single duo, but multiple getting involved in that fight. Talking about multiple getting involved, Landjock and Thresher now getting involved in some more action. LT Kikso is going down, and that is another Elim they're searching for. They want all of the loot. We can see based on the map, there's not going to be many players in the center of this zone. Everyone seems to be posting up on the outskirts, and this player, Relsec, all is but done. He's got no HP left, and whether or not he gets the elimination or someone else is able to tag him up, he's going down.
Goes down. And speaking of going down, Stretch and Commandment were actually able to find Taki. Remember, they eliminated Orange just not long ago here in Pleasant with that beautiful snipe. Able to find that duo partner. Hey, sometimes you got to just disengage if your duo partner goes down. And honestly, I think investing like a shockwave or a bouncer is good just to reposition. That way that team that took your duo down doesn't know where you are. But unfortunately, will fall. We saw Kanata in the elimination feed there as well, picking up one or two maybe eliminations. So a lot of big names in this lobby. We've got Sparebow there as well. Roat and Denied. They've played together for who knows how long. As long as I can remember, they've been playing together. And now back over to Dictate, who is looking in utter shambles.
Yeah, they were in a great position earlier, but now struggling a little bit as someone's crash pad or shockwaving into the box, and down goes Dictate. Wrigley not able to clean it up. He does take down one, but Mavelin is able to take down the duo, and another Elim. Nixel is coming in. More shockwaves are being used for eliminations. He's able to take down Leo, build himself a box. Now without a teammate, his teammate Boltiverse appears to have got down earlier in the game. Nixel all by himself. But if we have to look, there's a lot of solos left on this map, Clay.
There is a lot. You are correct about that. As we see, Magnolia is cool, and Magnolia's duo. I love names like that. Sometimes, you know, it's creative. It's not, you know, too hard to understand. I like it. We saw Andilix actually in this game as well. So an EU duo here is Backwood and his duo going to take down Santa. I don't know why they hate Christmas so much, but they wanted Santa out of the game. As Eggnog Eric gonna fall there, as Nixel we'll get a nice elimination. Sparrow gonna capitalize on some, and I like that immediate move onto the loot there from Nixel, but he's gonna get tagged up from behind. Very, very, very big tags come through, and unfortunately sometimes you get a little bit of that loot goblin comes through, right? And sometimes you get tagged up because of it. But now we're back on board here with Lola, Moose, and Flex. And got some interesting facts about them. I believe it is their first semifinals for at least Flex. Lola is looking for his first win in a Dreamhack semis as well. So a lot of firsts happening here.
Yeah, and we talked about it. You got to invest in those refreshes. Like you said, everyone sees those materials on the ground. So if you're going to go for it, you have to make sure you're building. Now we see how this zone is playing out as we move into 5th zone. Stretch and Commandment towards the center. Quixie and Drew up on the high ground on one side. Rote, DW, and Odinite on the other. These two are splitting the high ground in this 5th zone as everyone starts to collide together. Another name we see is Nano and Sizz Lucky, 2 more veterans in this scene.
Indeed, and we saw Andilix is actually playing with Hin. And now we all know that Hin loves to do ridiculously well on NAEs, even though he's all the way across the pond in Europe. I look very forward to seeing a lot as we actually get to see the picture of him as Dusty is going to get dopped down and his duo going to get taken down as well. Very great plays from Hin and Andilix to capitalize on the elimination. Get some refresh because look at Hin's match. He's only got 32 builds. Before that, he had 4 builds remaining. So overall, that was a beautiful refresh, but no, going to get taken down. Cheetah going to hop in the box as now it's going to be up to Andilix to try to clutch it up. Snazy here as well as we're over to Macwood and Kanata Claus. Again, they were in that Christmas spirit, but they took down Santa.
You don't like to see that. Now the view from up above, giving us the perfect bird's eye view. This is great use of those rift fish, using all of that time, allowing the other players to get eliminated. As long as no one on high ground is looking up at you, this is just free placement. We see all those players in the air. Now they decide to dive down, grab their position within zone. The clusters that are created down in the mid and low ground. Kanata and Macwood getting back in. They're already in zone, so very little materials used. And look at that loadout. The Slurfish. Oh, an elimination comes through for Kanata. Oh, yeah. And another one comes through.
Yeah, they're going to get all of those. You know, they are so good at doing that, setting up right ahead of zone, looking back for all these duos and solos that are very, very shambles loot and just capitalizing. But Stretch is actually going to go down, but he takes down Snazy with him. I'm not sure what Commandment is doing. Is Magnolia trying to get in Sizz Lucky? Says he's gonna pickaxe him. He gets the disrespect. The BM is there, and he does it once more as he's down, but that's gonna cause him to go down. What goes around comes around. Karma was there for Magnolia's duo.
The zone going slightly up a mountain. 28 players remaining. We're back with Moose and his teammate Symmetrical and Vert still on the low ground, and look who's up on height. Maybe it is the Stretch that is looking to take this game. He's owning high ground, and his teammate has gone down, but he can do this. In duos, it's a lot easier to hold high ground by yourself. Now we're checking back in with Moose while Stretch continues to put that pressure on with height. Does he have the materials to hold it, or can someone on this mid or low ground area overtake them? But down goes Sparrow as well.
Unfortunate there for Sparrow and Felix, but we'll keep hoping that they do well. Stretch is all by himself on high ground. Backwood and Kanata, of course, trying to just piece control everyone. Degen and Aegis right there, and I like the drop down there from Backwood. Can't find a layer that's not yours, but he's running out of builds. 8 builds remaining there as Lala Moose is starting to drop all the way down off the side. This is where Stark Industries was last season, so now going back to that old play style of not having to drop off a huge mountainous Landjock, and Thresh trying to go up for a high ground, rather take the high ground from Stretch, and now has to drop down. Seam will get knocked there. Stony going to take a lot of damage, does survive with 1 HP, but it's going up back up the mountain. So anybody that went down now has to come all the way back up, and I'm worried about Moose here. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Shots go through. Nice elimination there on the backside. Macwood takes a big chunk of damage, though.
The shockwaves are on Moose. He was able to find those. He has a flopper to stay alive. Vert and Symmetrical on the low ground. They're getting boxed out as this is going across through this mountain. Landjock and Thresh look poised to win this game. They're up on the high ground. They took it easily from Stretch, who could not hold it all by himself. And now we see Macwood and Kanata owning this mid ground. But how long can they own this with no materials? Only 5 builds, and they're going for a play for height. A nice shot on the Landjock. They do get the shot. Macwood is able to take down one. Can they finish off Thresh? He has lost his teammate. It is now a 1v1v1v1. 4 players, all solos, looking to win this game. Macwood sitting in Storm. He does get that elimination to come through. Looking back up on Thresh. Thresh firing back down. It is about an even HP fight. And now Moose is on the low ground. He's taken down the last opponent. 3 players remaining.
Yeah, Moose looking for that first win with his duo as Macwood is going to go down. Thresh will take him, and Moose, who is an unknown player to a lot of people, now trying to make a name for himself here on the stage as Thresh gonna go down pretty low. Effective HP goes over to Moose, but Thresh trying to drop his way in, cannot do it. Moose gets the victory royale there for Flex and himself. 5 elims as well. A great game all around.
Yeah, a little strut afterwards. Let them know that's your first win in semis. Let's go, man. Great game by them. We're going to throw it to a quick break and be right back with you guys.